Hi everybody, happy Sunday. So good to see you again. I have a little bracelet project for you today you're going to love, and it gives you the idea of the micro mosaic type style. This is not real micro mosaic. That involves little glass, I think we call them tesserae, and they're cut from a cane, glass cane called filato. And it's a skill, and it's a nice skill, and I would like to learn that one day, but this is the look of it using outside the box materials. So if you'd like to come on over here, I'm going to show you how to make this easy peasy bracelet that everybody's going to just take your arm like this and say, show me, show me, show me. I want one too. You will, just wait and see. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and if you have something nice to say to me, I would love it if you left me a comment. We do respond to comments here as fast as we can. Okay, so guys, so you can see a little bit more up close, because really you couldn't before. This is the bracelet that we're going to be working on. It'll be the model. I'm not a great hand model, but at least you can see. I don't know if we can zoom on that a little bit more, Javi, or not, so you can see.
Yeah.
Okay, so it consists of a bracelet bar, 3 little danglies, a little bit of our bead and link chain that we have from the site, and then just basic findings like, you know, lobster claw clasp and a few jumps. And then in the center here, isn't that pretty? It kind of gives you the feeling of the old, you know, micro mosaic, even though this is our form of micro mosaic. This is more like mosaic, straightforward mosaic, but kind of our way. So this, all it has is it has about 13 little stones going around. That's how I counted it. This is, I think, 2.5 millimeter cup chain. You could use smaller. I would not use larger because you have to be careful. This is an 18 by 13 mount. Pretty sure that's what it is. And you can't go too big. You know, you don't have a lot of room, so you don't want to take it all up with cup chain. But anyway, you do that, about 13 of them, and just glue it down. You got one little bead. These beads are so fantastic to use as stones. You know, a lot of people use the millefiori stones in here, but they stand up a little bit too high. They tend to be about 4 millimeter high. This isn't. The little check press glass stones aren't that high, and you don't see any holes in that. That's the main thing, so you don't see holes. So it's perfect to lay down into this kind of thing. Okay, and then I just have like 6 little seed beads in there, and that's it. So now, see, the dangles are really pretty too. And these parts are all found at our website. Right now I have, it's a mixed bag of these silver plated cast brass parts. They're really high quality. They're not inexpensive imports. They are cast brass vintage. And I had them plated in the United States. And so it's a nice little selection of them, I think, for $11.95 while they last. But they are worth having. I love them. And we have more of the little pink roses too. So most of the stuff is there. So I'm going to take this off. Here, let me pull it up close toward myself. This bracelet is a little large for me. I'm going to pull this around here so I can get it off better. It's a little large for me. I like them large because a lot of times I will, oh, you know, I'm not good at this. Can you help me, Javi? I'm sorry, guys. I need a little help. That's why she's here. I need help from my friends. Okay. I don't know what it was saying there. I'll think of it.
I bring it up her.
What's that? Bring it up here?
Yep.
Okay. We're trying to stay on camera. We're trying to be good. We're trying to get everything on camera now, too, so that you can see it all. Oh, I was telling you why it seemed long on me. Because I like to layer my bracelets. I often wear 2, 3, 4 at a time. So if you make the bottom one a little bit longer, then you have room to layer. But, you know, if someone wanted a little shorter, all they'd have to do is about take this much out, one link, and it'd be not that hanging down on it. But you do want a little flex on it. You don't want a bracelet that just hits you real tight, just barely makes it around. You want something with a little play in it. So let's go ahead and make one. To do this part, you're going to have to bend the ends of this. And this is a piece of Bisuba 1928. It's pewter, made in the United States. It's tumbled and lacquered with the antique on Super quality. You can see it's 1928 because it has the little squigglies in the back. We're the only ones that carry it. So find it at beadsandboutiques.com. But what you have to do is you have to bend the ends a little bit, just like you would do brass. Pewter is malleable, so you can do that. You know how I bend my brass is I tend to go like this. Now, pewter's soft metal, so you have to be careful not to bend it too much. Better to, see it's starting to bend already. Better to bend it a little bit and go back and do it again and again than too much. Okay, I'm getting it. I think that might be just about right. Yeah, just a little tiny bit more. Now don't bend it too hard because it could snap off right here. You don't want that. Zinc, which is what the Indonesian type parts are made of, it will just snap right off because it's not meant to bend. I've gotten it to bend a little bit a few times, but it's not. It's resistant. But pewter is part zinc, but not all zinc, so it will bend a little bit. So anyway, so that's what I did. I bent it first. Okay, now I have to do my inside. I could have waited to bend it, but I didn't like to because I was afraid my parts would slide, so I didn't want to do that. So the way we do with the mosaic, if you want to use cerulean or something, the epoxy clay stuff, you know, to put that in the bottom to hold it, feel free. That's not wrong to do that. It's not a bad idea at all. I'm just not doing it right now because it's not necessary. And why is it not necessary is because you will not see any of the cerulean showing. When you have something and you're using parts and the cerulean might show, then you know, there might be space in there, you know, that you don't fill. Then in that case, yeah, cerulean would be excellent because you don't want to have, you know, bare, empty, void space. But in a case like this where it's going to be all in there real tight, you don't need to spend for it because cerulean's a lot more expensive than E6000 glue, which is what I'm using, by the way, in case you wonder. That's my go-to glue. There are a couple, I think, videos from us over the years on the glue to use for jewelry making. I use E6000. I swear by it. After having made thousands and thousands of pieces of jewelry over that amount of time. But if you have one you like better, you use that. Whatever works for you is fine. Okay, I'm going to just take a little bit of that out of the middle because it's too much. Okay, so I have that done. Now I'm ready to inlay my stuff. So I've got my little piece of cuff chain here. I might have 1 cup too long, but I like to err on the side of caution. So I'm going to start over here on this end, and I'm just going to lay it in there. Just carefully lay it in there. If it doesn't stay all the way, I can fix that with a toothpick. So we just don't want it to roll over on itself because then you'll get glue on the stones and it's a mess. So just don't go there. Just go easy. Once you get it started, you can use your toothpick to coax it where you want it to be. And if I have 1 cup too long, I can just push it up, I think. So that won't hurt anything either. And I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. See, that one's starting to roll. It's a little bit fiddly, but once you've done it, it's no big deal. Yeah, I could have made it 13. But I think I can push this up and make him work in there. Yep, it's all good. Okay, so now we'll take our toothpick. So you could use 13 stones or 14, either one. 2.5 millimeter. If you use 2 millimeter, you might have to go like 15 stones, maybe. I would not use bigger than that, just to repeat that. Okay, now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our little rose and we're going to put it in the middle. Don't have to worry about if the hole's going to show, because when we're done with what we're going to do to it, it's not going to show, believe me. So I like 2 petals down, 1 up. So that's pretty well centered. Now, I think this is the hardest part, is getting the seed beads where they need to be. And for that, I'm going to use my tweezers. And, oh look, my ring fell off. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of make myself a little corral here for my seed beads so that I can get hold of them and they don't all run away. Okay, so they're all right here. I use pink ones, and these are going to go on their side. I don't like holes showing. Now, if you don't mind holes, then you do what you want. It's your project. But I don't like holes showing, so I'm putting them in on their sides, and that's what is fiddly about it. They got to go in on their sides. I used to do it my way, if you want to do it my way. And generally 3 is enough, but I might need more than that. See, he went back on his side. You have that. You'll have that. Let me get it real quick before I go farther. Okay, these are good. Push this over a little bit, maybe. So just a little bit. Okay. I told Lauren, I don't think this video will be too long. There's not that much to show. Well, I hope I'm right. We like to try and keep them 13, 15, 17 minutes if we can. Now this kind of went on its side, so I'm going to just leave it this way and see how many will fit on the other side before I go full and run with that. Because this one has 3, so this one should have 3. Let's see what I can do to make that work. Because this thing might fit good. So I'm going to do one here. Get my glue to tamp it down in. Push this over. Okay, that's kind of going sideways, but it's okay for now. Just trying to show you the technique. Fuss later. Show the technique and fuss around with it later. That's what I'll do. So I'm going to get one more in there. Okay, they're in. They're positioned well enough. I would have rather them be straight, you know, but going side, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If it matters to you, then you'll have to fuss with it, that's all. I like them to be the same on each side if I can. But this is pretty good. I'm going to leave it for now because I want to go ahead and move on and show you how to finish this piece. But that's how I do it, okay? I always put E6000 down first and I start putting my little parts. And basically all it is 13 or 14 stones, a 2.5 millimeter cup chain, one little wild rose hibiscus flower, which we have on the website, and a few little seed beads. That's it. Now we're ready to put our ends on. That'll stay good enough. I think I can just go ahead and finish it, so I'm going to. So of this, I'm probably going to want to use about a little bit scant what I use here, which was 4 7/8. No, 4 3/4 is what it was. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit less because it was kind of long. So I think I'll cut it right here, just one length less. Okay, so it's probably more like 4 5/8 or something. But you know, you cut it to your size. If you're making it for yourself, you measure. Start with 4 3/4. I think that's a good place to start. And then you can just back it off. You can always take a link out if it's going to be, you know, too big. Okay, I need to slice that one more time because it's fighting me. This is our bead and link chain from the website. It's brass chain, and it has imitation rhodium plate on it, which I absolutely love imitation rhodium plate. And it matches nicely with the tumbled pewter finish. It also matches nicely with our silverware silver plate. But it is a beautiful finish, and that is done in the United States. How about that? Okay, so it's a little bit shorter, but that's okay. A ruler would have been better for sure, but I left it upstairs. I do those things. Now I need some jump rings, so I'm going to start. I want kind of small. I'm thinking these might be 6s. What do you think, Javi? Maybe 4s, huh? 4s would be better.
They look like 6.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Well, they work. You know, so you could do 6. You could do 4 too. So anyway, I'm just going to attach it. So what I'm going to do is open my jump with my jumpy tool, and it's going to be attached on this side right here, this side. Okay, so now I'm going to just push this through. Be careful I don't mush this around. It would be better if you waited till it was set up, but I want to kind of finish this for you. Okay, so now it's going to come around the other side. I always like to get my bracelets to attach on the other side instead of in the back, because when something is right here, it bothers a lot of people. It drives me nuts. I can't stand something right there. So I always do it to the side. And then that way you can add some pretty little, some little dinglies and danglies and beads and stuff like I like to do off one side. I think that really makes your bracelet stand out a little bit better. So now I'm going to put this through here on this side. no, I'm not going to put it here. I'm going to put my lobster. I meant to say. This is a 15 millimeter lobster, guys. I think it's better than a real tiny one because a real tiny one makes it hard to attach. You saw I had trouble getting it off because it's small. I like to use big lobsters on my bracelet, but that wouldn't have been appropriate on this one because it's a more delicate, petite bracelet. So you're going to need some 6 millimeter, it looks like, jumps. Okay, so now I will attach it. And to attach it, I'm going to need a series of jumps. I have 2 that go through first. I have 2 that go through here, this hole, because it just makes it stronger. So here we go. 2 through here. And then what I'm going to want is, this is my this is my jump that I'm going to use for my finial. So I'll go ahead and I'll close that. And then I like to have a big open jump on the end so you don't have to fuss around as much trying to find it and getting it closed. And then 2, you can hang stuff from it. Don't worry if it's not flush at first. Okay, I got 2 through there. It's snug, but it worked. Okay, now close that. These need to be good and flush. Okay, now I will adjust this one. If you can get soldered jump rings to use for your end pieces, it's nice. I'm thinking about carrying a few of those because I think it'd be a nice thing to have. But anyway, so there I go. I've got it made. It's basically made. And then all I need to do is if I want to dangle something from it. And I would dangle it from this part right here. Okay? So you can see how I did it on this one. Everybody's done a dangle, you know, just basically put a bead, and then I put some of these little silver beads that I was talking to you about, and then I have this jet crystal AB rondelle, which we carry at the site, and I'm nuts about, and then I have just a little tiny bead there. Then I'll loop it and just put it on the end. It's pretty. So that's basically how it goes, guys. There's not too much more to it. I hope you'll try it. Everything you need to make this can be found at bsuboutiques.com. I don't think there's one thing here. Oh, we're out of E6000. I have it on order. So you will have to get yourself some E6000. I won't be able to provide that for you, but normally we have it. And I have it usually in the little tubes because they're easier to work with and you don't waste as much glue. I could continue to wrap this, but I'm not going to in this case because I don't have much to work with. So I'll just snip that off. But everything is there, and you can find it. See, you would find the rose beads and glass beads section, and the chains in the chain section, and Bisou by 1928 would be in the old silver section. But don't worry, because we will write down in the description of this video, we'll put links to everything. You will not have to worry. So you need a few 6 millimeter jump rings. You need one big jump ring about 8 millimeter, and you need a few little beads that go with your parts. You don't have to use these colors, of course. You know, use whatever you like. Whatever you like is good. And I'll put it on here. You can see a little bit more how that will look. I like to put 3. Every time I do one of these, I put 3, but you don't have to. You can leave 1. You know, so you need a few little seed beads, a little bit of cup chain, and there you go. We'll have a list for you so you won't be in the dark about, you know, what you got to get, okay? Any oval plaque that you have, whether it's Bisou by 1928 or it's a piece of the zinc stuff or even a brass stamping that you have. There are brass stampings that would work to do this too. Just stick with about an 18 by 13 surface so that you can work with it. So anyway, it's a fun project. I hope you'll try it. It was fun to be with you today, and we will have a lot more of this type outside the box mosaic work coming down the pike. The very next video, in fact, there'll be a new project. So I hope you'll come see us then, and I hope you'll visit us at bsuboutiques.com, and don't forget, subscribe, like, and comment if you feel like it, okay? You guys are great. Yay! Thanks for watching.